gentlemen, welcome back to another broadcast of The Weekly with me, Neff. Please subscribe to the channel. I appreciate the support. Wanted to talk a little bit more about The Odyssey. We're starting to get more news from people involved with the film as we get closer to the release of the film in July. In this news, we have statements from Tom Holland, who is playing Telemachus in the film. The Odyssey star Tom Holland reveals what about Christopher Nolan's masterpiece surprised him the most. And we had some comments from him earlier, I believe, when they were shooting the film, where he just talked about he's never been on a set like this, dealing with a film that was this detailed and had this type of spectacle attached. So let's read into some more of those comments there. Tom Holland may be best known for playing the MCU Spider-Man, but this summer he'll also be front and center in Christopher Nolan's latest epic, The Odyssey. The British actor will play Telemachus, the son of Matt Damon's Odysseus. In some ways, it's the actor's biggest role yet, and provided his work is well received, The Odyssey could mark a major turning point in a 29-year-old's career. While he's found success outside of the MCU, an acclaimed performance in a Nolan movie would be huge for Holland. I believe that is true. And so he made a statement talking about the film. He was asked about this, and he said, "I can tell you that this film is an absolute masterpiece." And I'm taking myself out of the equation. Some humor there. Christopher Nolan's movie is fantastic. It's unlike anything that I've ever seen before. I think when I saw the movie, I found myself asking a question that I haven't asked about a movie for a long time, which is, how did you do that? I think with CGI and stuff like that, we've become so accustomed to seeing these amazing things on screen and just kind of having the basic understanding that some very clever people and artistic people are able to do that on a computer. But Chris is obviously trying to do everything as practical as possible in camera. And side note, this is what I was talking about when I was talking about actually reading The Odyssey regarding the Cyclops, Polyphemus, and Scylla and Charybdis, right? How is he going to do this practically? Of course, there's probably going to be some special effects involved, of course, right? Maybe a little CGI on top of practical, but to see a Hydra live action practical would be awesome. And hopefully Christopher Nolan can pull that off aesthetically. Let's continue. And there were certain sequences in the movie where I'm watching it and I'm just sort of thinking, like, how on earth has he done that? That has to be CG, Holland continued. And then after the movie, asking him, that was definitely CG, right? And he's like, no, that's all in camera effects, very planned, very prepared. So Christopher Nolan definitely putting his best foot forward with this one. And it's what you expect from a film of this caliber and a story from Homer of this caliber. Can't wait for this film. Let's finish off the statements here. Holland continues, so I think fans are going to be really, really blown away by the set pieces and sequences throughout the movie, because even as someone that was there on the day and was in the film, I was absolutely blown away by the scale, the scope, his ability to navigate such an intricate and heartfelt story in the middle of this insane kind of action movie. And I don't know if I talked about it too much recently, but I talked to some people offline about maybe if Christopher Nolan is even pulling some of the Iliad into the Odyssey just to fill in some of the gaps with the action. And it's interesting that Tom Holland brought that up. I think these are some pretty solid statements. It really flushes out what he said before, just more detail, obviously, because the film is actually done and he's seen it at this point in time, which is cool for him to see the final product before everybody else gets to see it. Basically, Christopher Nolan doing internal, I guess you could say, gauging of what the movie's like. Maybe if he could still change some things, even though we're about 3 months from release, possibly change a couple more things before they officially send that out to theaters. So I think that's cool. But let's finish up. The Spider-Man Brand New Day star added, so it's one of my proudest achievements as an actor, and I'm so touched that Chris gave me the opportunity to be in the film, and I really think that people are going to be floored by the film. That's high praise indeed, though it lines up both with what moviegoers have come to expect from Nolan and what little we've seen from the Odyssey in trailers. Now, with that being said, you had the teaser trailer, you had the 6-minute prologue that came out before Avatar Fire and Ash, and then you had a trailer, and I speculated yesterday that we will get the final trailer in early June with a release of tickets in all formats. And so that pretty much wraps up everything that we know from Tom Holland's comments, right? It goes into more scenes that they've shown and set photos, but that's not really that important. Interesting statements. Tom Holland calling this thing a masterpiece. We've heard other people call this thing a masterpiece. Can't wait for the film, The Odyssey. I'm definitely going to keep reporting on it, ladies and gents. I think I might have brought up that I'm reading the Iliad right now, so I'll probably do a video on that and maybe speculate on what's going to go on as far as who is involved in the Odyssey from the Iliad, because that could be very interesting. We could have some cool theories to talk about there. But other than that, ladies and gents, please comment down below what you think about this news. Are you going to be watching the Odyssey from Christopher Nolan? What do you expect from the film? Definitely want to hear your thoughts. Subscribe to the channel, share the video, and be safe. It's Neff signing off.